your cup. Good morning from the shell. Super fast.
Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Good friends and trends that bend the senses. Let's get a bit senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with super fast tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow. Good vibes from head to toe.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Super Fast Tortoise Show, where we rock your socks off. Hello, well, I hope you got your coffee. You know, get a little vibe, a little extra goodness to your day. We're hoping to brighten up your day, make it a little bit better and a little bit happier.
Oh yeah.
It's a little bit brighter with tortoise beside.
That's right.
Encore.
She'll encore when she starts getting paid. You know, she'll sing that song and she'll get royalties and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
thought she was already royalty. She's from the UK, right? Isn't that like automatically in line for like eventually? Is Jesse's like 100?
I'm sure
in line
somewhere
for Queen?
down, somewhere down the very bottom. If we kill off enough people above me, sure, I'm sure we'll get to it.
Not legal advice.
not really.
I'm certainly not encouraging this. It's not the way to become a royalty. It's just to eliminate anyone and everyone above you that may take your place. But I'm sure if somewhere down the bloodline, maybe 500 times removed.
That is how you become the pirate king. Just so you know.
Well, thinking of things, what happened to KJ? He's just a circle.
I'm a circle. Yes, I'm having troubles with my OBS today, and I'm trying to fix it as we speak. I got distracted because Hillbilly told me about some fun information, and I got distracted. And then I was distracted about some sad information as well today. So full of distractions, and I'm working on my circle.
Well, let's talk about the good distraction. We were talking about the possibility of Star Trek being a universe is beyond set, Magic the Gathering.
That is the major distraction. I love it.
I'm waiting for some more confirmation on that. I saw some of the basic land ideas that were showing up, and they look pretty sick.
Yep, I hope it's true. Just got my fingers crossed and just hope it's true.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'm hoping that it's a collaboration with Edge of Eternity, so we don't have to wait like a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
We already got enough time to wait.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Look, there's cards. We see pictures on KJ's side. Whoop, whoop. Progress.
Well, I'm halfway there to getting everything to working, right?
Cool.
He's halfway there. Whoa, we're halfway there. Yes, I know. Something prayer. Okay.
So what do we know about this Star Trek thing? We keep on getting distracted because I'm excited. But what do we know? Tell me things? What do we know? I want to know about my favorite IPs.
So the only thing we know so far is some of the cards are titled based off the shows. Like the episode Mirror Mirror is a card.
So they're titling off of episode titles, not like or like the card's going to be like titled off of like if you have DS9 would be a vehicle, or would DS9 be a
I guess we'll learn more about that in Edge of Eternities, because they're going to make large spacecrafts like that in the set.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And if let's say Star Trek, let's say if it is going to be standard legal, if it's a complete set, then Edge of Eternities will go great with it, probably.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm hoping, is maybe they're spoiling stuff from it, but who knows. But really quick, let's say hi to a couple people in chat. We had Kovac stop by earlier to show some love. Kovacs, you rock. We have Backwoods Collector planting trees so you don't have to. Look at that. He's watching us on the big screen today. Whoop whoop. Hell yeah. And he's sorting cards. We got Cane Shaker. Cane Shaker, Cane Shaker. What's up, Cane Shaker? Whoop, whoop, do. Hey. Cane Shaker says, my favorite procrastinating people. Procrastinating. That's right. Drink your coffee. Drink your coffee. So, yeah, so Star Trek's got us all excited.
Mm-hmm.
But besides Star Trek, other good news is we're whirring on. Last night I started playing Borderlands, the pre-sequel, the first Borderlands game I ever played.
Oh, Jesse and I have been enjoying pre-sequel. How do you like it?
I'm struggling because I keep dying.
Okay, let Jesse and I know when you're going to play next, and then we'll play with you.
I think only 3 is cross-platform between consoles and PC. And you do console, don't you, Tortoise?
I play off console, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's why we need to get 3 so we can play with Ivory and such. But you do want to make sure you go, don't just stick to the main storyline. You want to do the main storyline, and then when you get to a certain point, go, okay, I need to do everything else so I can level up. But when I do the main story again, I'm not doing what Dan and I did for our last main story mission, which was
die all the time.
Die for like 2 hours. Yeah, eventually plug our way through.
Yeah, we had to have Kaz come in to play with us, and he had to go, and he's like, you know what, you guys are too low, and you're too far ahead, and you're too low of a thing. So he went and advanced his character on his own, came back to us, and started playing with us again. He's like, okay, now I can help you guys play because we sucked. They really come in to play with us.
Yeah, they really don't explain. They really don't explain the leveling system and whatnot in the game and how to do it.
Yeah.
This kind of drop little things like you leveled up. They don't tell you to go somewhere else and level up. They don't tell you how to get off the main storyline. No, it just gives you the option to do multiple storylines if you want to. Or
and it doesn't tell you which is the side story. It kind of does in a sense. When you look at your HUD on the map, it'll show you the what do you call it? It'll show you like the size of the little diamonds that are your objectives that you go towards. If the diamond's bigger, it's the bigger objective. Go for the smaller diamonds.
What is it? Cane Shaker says if you play Minecraft with KJ, he'll fill your room with chickens.
Hey, it was storage. Jesse was the only one who had doors until somebody stole Jesse's doors.
Jeez.
Apparently, no one else had a brain and thought how to actually make a door.
Make a door. Make a door.
Hey, if you don't act appropriately, you don't deserve privacy, which means you don't deserve a door.
Yes. You don't eat your meat.
Okay, so we know why you don't have a door there, Dan. There are still like 15 people on the server, and apparently I was the only one that thought to make doors for my house. Not that it matters, because people stole my doors and my diamonds.
As long as you don't make pressure plates on the outside of your door, you're good.
Oh no, I don't. I don't do the pressure plates on the outside of the door.
She doesn't do pressure plates at all.
And goes and puts it down.
She doesn't do pressure plates at all. She puts an iron door somewhere. Doesn't even put a pressure plate down, and you can't open iron doors without a pressure plate.
Exactly. I don't want you going through the door.
Well, I'll just put down the
pressure plate.
What's the point of having a door if you don't go through the door? What are you going to do? Make underground tunnels that lead to your room, to your house?
She does that. That's exactly what she does. That's exactly what she does. She'll make a circle, make you run around her building in a circle that goes back to the same exact spot, back to the same exact iron door, and then she has like a tunnel going down and a tunnel going this way and that way. You don't know which way is out of her friggin' building. And then she has her doors all set up in these weird patterns, and you can't open them. And when you do, it's like, okay, I'll just take my diamond pickaxe and tear down your door because you didn't put a pressure plate there.
Or he just doesn't look up to see the pressure plate above him because it's not a pressure plate, it's a little bouton. And he's like, oh, I'll just put another one here. Next thing you know, you come up to your door and there's like 500 buttons around it because Dan can't find it.
She doesn't like pressure plates because Kaz just moves them one spot to the left.
I just don't trust the whole Cowboy Dan family. I think it's something to do with the pair of you.
What are you
messing
talking
with
about?
my Minecraft.
Look, Minecraft. All right, I'm more a creative mode player, but I'm the kind of person who makes pistons, sticky pistons, and make secret doors out of sticky pistons. As long as you find the switch, you click the switch and it opens up the door. Sticky pistons.
Yeah, I do that too. I like that. But you got to get slimes. You got to get slimes, and I don't play in a creative mode anymore because I got made fun of way too many times.
Made fun of too many times for playing creative mode.
Well, not made fun of, but you know, play it, really play it. You know, Kaz has gotten me to give up my controller for WASD. It's like I feel like it's sin, but I'm now using WASD and a keyboard.
I'm
and
thinking
controller.
maybe my controller is feeling for you, and that's why it's having a play about it at the moment. It's gone, oh well, Dan's not using a controller anymore, so I'm gonna mess up.
Jeez, I don't know.
Yes, I will blame it on you, Dan.
I play off the system, right? And like, since I played on the system, I don't like how they updated the system and the game to be more like the computer, where you have to like shape out the objects you want. You have to search. They made the system way more convoluted than computer.
Okay,
well, more like the computer, but it's more convoluted because you have to use a controller.
Yeah, what we did is we added our servers all modded up, so that way it has some bedrock features. Like it has the cookbook. You don't have to figure out what the pattern is anymore. You'll have the cookbook, and you can just select from the cookbook like you can in Bedrock, which makes it a lot easier. You don't have to remember those friggin' patterns. I don't know how people can remember that many patterns to make something in the first place.
Right.
You know, and on top of that, like they have the PC version. Even Bedrock is so much different than Pocket, which is Pocket Edition's what the Xbox, the phones, and everybody else uses, a Linux style system, and where computer, the Java edition and Bedrock edition, they also have differences, and it's a different learning curve going from one version of the game to the next.
Oh yeah, yeah. I believe that. But no. Yeah, like there's so many things, and like since the last time I actually played the game, they updated the game so many times. Like they put the Netherworld in there, like the whole villages and pillagers and stuff. Holy cow!
Oh, I love the pillagers. Oh man, they are the worst in the world, but I love them. You know, because they drop like the best loot.
Well, they're tough to kill. They better drop something good. That's all I can say about them. They better drop something good if they're going to be dropping some loot. And thinking about loot and dropping good loot, I think I found something right here.
You are watching Super Fast Tortoise.
Put up a fight, gonna leave them all in fright. Playing Magic the Gathering on a Saturday night. So many creatures, casting spells with all his might. Sipping on more coffee to stay awake and bright.
Hey, look at us. We're here. We're there. We're neither near, here, or there. But we're here. We're there. We're coming around the corner and boom. I don't know what that was about, but I did it. But anyways, we get on track, back on track to the topic when you get towards the topic. And we've been kind of touching around the topic a little, actually. And but we need to get to the first segment of the day. And only one person knows the segment of the day. That person is blessed with knowledge, I guess you want to call it. Blessed with knowledge. He has the knowledge of where we're supposed to go, and that'd be Hillbilly. Hillbilly, where are we supposed to go?
Well, I guess it's time for the
Card of the day.
Card of the day. Here we go. Hold on. There we go. There we go. I'm working on it. I'm doing these scenes. There we go. Bellfire Liege. Bellfire Liege costs 2 generic. Red, white. So that's 3 red whites. That's red or white. Hybrid mana. It's creature, spirit, horror. It's a 2/4. It says other red creatures get +1/+1. Other white creatures you control get +1/+1. But whenever you cast a red spell, Bellfire Legion deals 3 damage to target player or planeswalker. Whenever you cast a white spell, you gain 3 life. So, cast a red-white spell, you get a lightning helix. That's pretty solid.
Nice.
Mm.
Now, I was wondering about cards like this because it says red gets +1/+1, white gets +1/+1. As you get put a red white creature down, does it get a +1/+1 and another +1/+1?
Yes, if it's both colors, it gets both abilities.
Nice. So you
They have a black. They have a black version, a black-white version of this one, an Orzhov one. That gives your black creatures +1/+1, your white creatures +1/+1. It says whenever you cast a white spell, tap target creature down. Whenever you cast a black creature spell, destroy target destroy target creature, tapped creature.
Nice.
You play a creature. If you play a spell that's both black and white, you destroy target creature basically.
Cool.
Yeah, the legions are pretty cool. From the old Lauren block.
Nice.
tcgdude blast. Lightning helix on a body essentially. That's right. Whoa, look at that. So amazing. So cool. Such a fun card.
I like the art. Look at that. It kind of brings the art on this to me. It brings back 1980s like movies where they kind of like did the cartooning over like real life when it came to ghosts, like kind of like what they did with the Quickening in the Highlander and whatnot. The artwork kind of reminds me of that.
Oh, I just got a notification that Borderlands game got blocked in some territories and cannot be monetized because of a song or 2 songs.
Oh, dang, blag it.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, I not to change the topic back to Borderlands or anything, but I do know that is a problem with the streaming industry that wants you to stream the games, but they keep on copyright claiming people. It's a big deal right now with Nintendo doing that, and Borderlands doing it now. Whew, they probably might not want to do that with Borderlands being owned by who they're owned by and having some difficulties right now.
Yep.
Yep. It's like songs from the opening scene. So if
I mean, you say about that, and actually, I just looked at last night, and apparently there's a copyright thingy on our podcast for some Kanye West.
Kanye West.
What?
Maybe that was during the SpongeBob thing, but that should be easy enough just to mute it out.
So
yeah, it just pops up all over the shot. You never know. I start playing a game. It's like, do I need to mute the music? Are we good?
Well, from the looks of it, it looks like the music that's copyrighted is at the beginning of the intro. So tell me it's going to give me options what to do, like edit it out or something.
Yeah, it'll let you mute it'll let you mute it.
I knew it was too good to be true. I mean, at least it wasn't as bad as the Turtles game where I got 12 copyright notifications for 12 different songs through a bunch of loading screens.
It's really upsetting with the industry, with the gaming industry being the way it is. They want you to do this. They want you to promote their product. They want you to play their product online. They want you to use it. But as soon as you have any chance of getting monetized on what they want you to do, they're going to copyright strike you.
Right.
So it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. That really sucks. I really hate that about this industry.
Yeah. It's rough. It's tough. But anyways, back online, back on topic. This card is pretty solid, pretty epic. It's 5 mana for 2/4 with lots of goodies. One of the best legions out of the set. Not the best, but one of the best legions. So this is a double master set, but this was originally printed in the Lauren block. Like I can't remember if it was Morning Tide or even Tide, but like it's from that era of Magic, and it's pretty solid, pretty good. If you're not running this in your red-white deck, why are you? Why aren't you?
Really?
Pretty solid, pretty cool. But anyways, get to some pictures of the day. Today's picture of the day was first off by MTG Hillbilly sharing a LuxArts.net Stitch coffee machine.
Stitch.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is neat though. Looks like a coffee maker made out of Stitch.
I think this is an AI generated thing.
Yeah,
This is absolutely AI generated, but that's okay because
it probably is.
that's okay because if it is, we can redesign it and make it legit. But the question is with this thing is whoever if it were real, let's just say, because there are some things that say AI generated, but also there's some things that don't say. Usually you don't get reflection on an item with the AI.
Right.
You don't get because you can see the grill on the bottom of the thing. Like I think part of it, like they might have taken an actual coffee maker and then used AI to overlay the Stitch to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the AI definitely gave it a second spout because
Right.
because you can see where the spout is and it's not right when it's pouring the water right there. But like I said, the reflection right there tells me it might not be AI partly.
Right.
Like
I
they
don't know.
used,
This thing's looking in my eyes, and it's looking at me, and it's going, "Save me, save me, please! Look what they've done to me!
Now, I found this on
Wait.
Facebook.
Don't let Mrs. Hillbilly see this.
Mhm.
Poor Stitch.
Oh, she's probably watching.
Actually, she's probably flipping, going, "Poor Stitch, I must save it! No! What did they do to you?"
What did he do to you? Did all the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Then, all right, the next picture of the day is boom. Stitch, Stitch playing like some kind of card game. I liked it.
Mhm. Looks kind of like magic almost. The way that artwork looks on those cards.
Right. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's a Stitch. I did type in Stitch play Magic the Gathering as part of the prompt, but I don't know where the coins came in. It looks like he's gambling with magic cards or something like that.
all right. So luxart.net is not a real website, first of all. So it is absolutely most likely a AI contraption.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
They
Like
even
how
put
you
a
notice on here it says copyright Magic the something and something else, like it's all mixed. It's AI generated, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, so that last one, that last picture has to be either that or somebody didn't keep their domain name open
Mhm.
because the website does not exist.
Okay. All right. Now, next picture. Boom. Stitch
Oh.
chasing a beach ball. Yes, this is AI generated. AI generated Stitch dolls. Stitch today.
I like AI generated art. I don't care about what anybody has to say. I like it when people have no talent, no ability to get something done, especially if you're on a low income. AI art is the perfect way to get like certain content made.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Certain content. Boom. But it's fun. It's fun. As simple as the pictures like this. I mean, like if you wanted to and you wanted this picture on your wall, you could print this out and hang it on your wall, and it won't be stealing because you made the image yourself through AI generation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then the last picture is a picture of Hillbilly on his birthday.
You got that right.
I mean, are we sure this isn't what Mrs. Hillbilly sees on his birthday?
Right?
You can tell that I made this
Her
cake.
dreams have come true. Hillbilly is no longer Hillbilly. She's got her true Stitch.
Yeah, that's right. You can tell KJ made this cake. You said.
Yeah,
Well-
here's the reason why. Notice like it's not exactly like level. That it's the way I would make a cake. It's like, okay, just pour the stuff in there, not cook it long enough to level out, and then put the frosting on there. And some of the frosting looks like it's starting to melt a little bit because they put the frosting on too early. This is exactly how I make a cake. Just saying, you know.
I mean, I feel like that cake that Stitch is going to take the bite and just like get encompassed by the icing. There's no actual cake in there. This is like a false cake. It's just icing. You're going to go into it and you just.
First of all, who eats the actual cake part? Give me the corner slice of the cake with the most frosting, and also give me the piece that has the flour on it if they have one.
I love cake.
Yeah.
Just give me the icing.
Thank you, Hillbilly. Thank you. At least Hillbilly's after my own heart.
See, this is why I still think it's Hillbilly. It's just Hillbilly turned into Stitch. Because you see all that hair? It's just gone. It's just been replaced and turned into these massive ears. Because now he doesn't need to worry about getting his hair in the way when he's eating.
Exactly.
TCG
It's like the perfect. What's my jig for him? Please insert whatever word you need where it says "what's my jig." That makes the sentence work.
TCG dude said he literally did a parody song and got copyright flagged for it. That's brutal.
Yeah. Wow. There's a lot of inappropriate copyright claims going on. Yeah. Last month, I mean, somebody tried to copyright claim my voice. I'm pretty sure everybody heard me complaining about it. These are things that happen, unfortunately, quite often. Frivolous copyright claims.
Well, you don't own your voice. You don't own your voice. It is rented to you. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it doesn't help that I myself am AI.
That's right. You are you're from the future, so technically you don't exist. So you're fair game for anybody here.
I don't see how somebody's voice can be copyrighted.
They can't. Like I said, frivolous flags. What they do is somebody else. It happens more often on live shows when they do the frivolous flags because, if you're live, they'll just click into the show and immediately start flagging from the point they clicked in to where they did. That's how they got my voice and tried to copyright claim my voice because they didn't try to copyright claim based off of the selected part of the media. They did not try to copyright claim my song for my theme song, which is made by Suno AI, which I proved by showing documentation that you can get from Suno that says you have this song. By also not only that, by publishing your song live through Suno and making sure that you wrote the lyrics yourself. If a good I had to look into the legalities of this. When it comes down to AI, you don't own the product in the United States if it's not made by a sentient human being. An AI is not considered a sentient human being. Back in the 90s, a monkey was given a camera. Actually, it was an orangutan, was given a camera by a photographer. And then the photographer loaned out the photos to the Getty Museum. And the Getty Museum turned around and sued that photographer for full ownership of the photos. Then the zoo also turned around and sued that photographer. It went to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court in the United States said that if you're not a sentient American voter, human, you cannot own product. So which means technically, therefore, and then when AI started coming around and the whole situation with the precedent of training art and training data off of other data, other art, other IPs, and all this other stuff, people tried to start suing AI companies. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people, particularly the artists, are mad about AI, is because they're not getting paid off of something that's trained off of, and they're saying it's legal copyright infringement. But it's not copyright infringement because technically you can't own anything made by AI because the AI is not a sentient registered human voter. And that's what it all comes down to in the long run is who's making the money off of it. Nobody can make money off of something that you can't own.
Right.
And therefore there's a big old hullabaloo.
All right. Whew. Well, felt like Dan just got that off his chest.
Yep.
I've been dealing with it a lot lately.
I believe it. It's like when I had to deal with the copyright strikes on the song that I created and had to fight and battle that.
I had 3 copyright flags in a month.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
I'm not even monetized on YouTube, and they're just copyright flagging me left and right.
Huh. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, anyways, breathe. I'm going to disorient you again because I'm still getting used to this new setup that they did. But now, if you have a picture of the day, everybody out there, and you want to share your picture of the day, share that picture with us on Discord, and you can get a shout out. But right now, we got to get to the question of the day. Question of the day is actually linked to the topic of the day. So let's get to that. If I can find it. Presented by Discord, we have the question of the day. The question of the day is brought to you by yours truly. Let's see what I asked.
Super Fast Tortoise here with the question of the day. The question of the day being, if you were a video game, board game, card game, any kind of game, TCG or not, how would you design a game? What would it be about? Would you have fun? Would it be great? Like, let us know. What are your ideas on the board game or video game or card game that you would want based off of your imagination? Let's go.
I was tired after when I recorded that. When I do the question today, I'm tired. My eyes are like squinty and everything. Like you'll see me like open my eyes like when I'm recording, and so I can I'll be like opening my eyes so I can show expression instead of looking like I'm sleeping.
I like it. It seemed I like the exaggerated look when you open my eyes a little out wider when I'm trying to prove a point. You know, I as a cartoon character don't have that ability when I only have 3 frames: open mouth, closed mouth, eyes blinking, eyes not blinking. So you have a lot more availability to use your eyes than I do.
All right.
And they're beautiful.
Thank you. They're beautiful green
They're
eyes.
beautiful. I'm just trying to find a way to compliment you, by the way.
Yeah, that's good. You complimented pretty well. And you know, a good way to compliment me is thinking about an answer to the question of the day. If you were a game, KJ, if you were a board game, a card game, a video game, or any kind of game that is fun that you think someone would like that you've thought of, like what kind of game would you produce? Now, I'm not telling you to get into the logistics of how everything works in the game, but what kind of game would you sell yourself as if you were a game?
If I were a game,
Like if a game was designed after you.
Get to me last, please.
All right.
That's what I was going to say. Dag blanket.
Dude, you can't say that. Now you've pushed it all onto the rest of us, and all of the us who want to go last now can't go last. I'm sorry. We're the children now fighting to be at the back of the line, and the line's getting further and further away from where it was originally meant to be started.
I see what's happening here is I got your brains thinking and you're trying to put it together.
No, don't do it. Don't make my brain think. How dare you? It's going to explode. I'm a procrastinator. I don't think.
Oh my lord. So let's see what people say in chat. We're saying in chat. Yu-Gi-Oh collection on Nintendo Switch drops today. Picking up pre-orders later. Nice.
Cool.
KJ would be a poppet.
Pop.
He's digging the
You know
background.
what? I feel like KJ might just be a bobblehead.
Thank you.
You know, just sit him on your dashboard and he's just wobbling about the place.
Well, yeah.
All right.
All right.
Excuse me,
So
I'm sorry.
no, you're good. I'm gonna start answering the question of the day, because I've already thought about this. I mean, when I come up with question of the days, I always try to think what would it be something I'd want to answer, how I'd answer, and I take time to think about it because I have made the question when I make the question.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like the idea of when someone asks a question and I have to form a thought, and usually I'm pretty good at forming a thought really quick, like a cat right there. Just magically appears. Anyways, if I was a game, I designed a game, it would be a dinosaur game. And I tried working on this game before. There's a system of a game where you push kind of dinosaurs down a line every round. And as you push these dinosaurs, they'd have like little amber costs on them, like little ambers, because this is Jurassic Park theme. And your point of the game was to be a place builder where you place your figurines in certain spots on the board that give you actions like build a dinosaur, dig for amber for cards that build a deck, because it's a pseudo deck builder game. And you'd randomly select 3 cards. You could select 2 out of one pile or one of each 3. Like you can select 2 out of one pile individually, or you can select one of each of these 3 piles. And each 2 piles had a different strength category to what the cards did. You get cards with abilities, but you also get amber. But not all the time would you get amber. Not all the time you get cards with abilities. So you're trying to build a deck so you can maximize your amber output to buy dinosaurs, because that's how you build dinosaurs. Then you'd buy the dinosaur that you bought with the amber you collected and saved up like a deck builder. Then you'd place the dinosaur that you bought and put it in a cage. That was the main board, and you're trying to fill up this board a bit. And as you're doing it, you're placing, when you get certain dinosaurs, certain types of dinosaurs based off your character, you place your meeple. Worker placement is the style of the type game. Worker placement deck builder. You would transport the dinosaur to an exit thing, right? When you transport this dinosaur to an exit thing, you mean just shipping it off. You're sending it to a park, and that's how you score your points in the game, right? But every turn, you're getting a dinosaur in the lineup, so your line is pushing, and once the line is full, there's an escape area. And if the dinosaur gets pushed in an escape area, the points of the dinosaur counts against all the players. So if you have like a 17-point dinosaur that escapes, everybody at the end of the game is down 17 points because you created the dinosaur event. Effectively, it escaped. You didn't handle it in time. You're trying to build and ship off your dinosaurs as they're being created with your amber. With your amber, you're trying to get the dinosaurs out, but the dinosaurs that are created are escaping. They're costing everybody points. And with the card, there was an escape ability on them that when they escaped, it affected people differently. Like made you exile cards out of your hand or from your graveyard, so you never get them back again, hindering your deck building works. And there's other different abilities. And that was my dinosaur game that I tried creating, and that's a game that reflected me as a player, as a person, because I had the complications and simplicity of being a good deck builder.
Well, myself, I'd make some kind of game around this right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they do in over here in Kentucky. This is a day called a hillbilly days,
right?
And I'd make something around this. Don't know how to play it or how to do it or anything, but that's basically what I would kind of do.
Right. Sounds good.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds fun. So, you know what? I can imagine you being a worker placement kind of game. You have a hillbilly festival as a board, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you're trying to do is collect the most
junk
items, right? The most junk. But you have to have money to spend on the junk. So you start with a certain amount of cash, and you have to collect some money from certain areas. And you can do one thing per turn. You can either collect money or buy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can either go collect money or you can go buy something. But you get game modifiers that when you buy from certain areas, you get like a card that goes into your hand or your deck. Well, maybe your hand. And so when you go and buy like a muffler, it can give you a muffler plus an extra junk item from that area to help you collect more things, because the point is collecting hillbilly things.
Yeah, kind of like Monopoly with a twist.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of Monopoly with a big twist.
So wait, you gonna buy properties in this game?
Well, not properties. Instead of properties, it'd be junk.
Junk pile. Yeah.
But in order to get money, though, you got to pass go.
You got to pass go. Oh, that's rough.
Yep.
Do I get my 200 for passing go though?
Huh?
Do I get my 200 for pass and go?
Yep.
Well, there you go. There's a positive to pass and go.
It wouldn't be 200 to be 100.
Oh my lord.
Ah, it's still something.
That sounds like a tough version of Monopoly. You spend money as you go, and you're losing money on the way out, and you don't get money until you pass go.
Right.
Even
Yeah,
though
that
I,
would-
even
yeah,
though
that-
I just literally created a game for you, you wanted to make it hard.
Uh-huh.
Where's the fun if the game's easy? Need that challenge.
And
Right.
some games are fun. Some games are fun easy. Huh?
Well-
That's how it goes. All right, KJ.
Yeah, I mean, there is an enjoyment in playing Exploding Kittens, knowing that the game's only going to last like 10 minutes max, and there's not that much brain power involved.
That's why it's called a filler game. It fills in time between games.
Yep.
KJ was about to say something.
Oh, I was saying, well, I think I like that idea. See, Monopoly has been a basis of a lot of games over the last 5+ decades, and since Monopoly came out, what, in the 20s ish? I don't know when Monopoly came out. I'm an idiot on YouTube. I don't know these things, but it's been the base prompt for a lot of board games. Like you have your go around the board style, your round table game, so to speak. You're just going around the board. It's a race to the finish and a race to the highest score. These it's a very popular trope with just about every gaming media almost out there. In particular, they've even taken this to this concept to computer games.
Right.
Where you got your score instead of money, you got your location on a game map instead of your location around this outside of a board. So other games are kind of similar. You got Sorry, you have where you're going around the game board. First person to get to the center wins. These tropes are just the basic additions to creating your own game, and I think like games like Monopoly and games that have been around that long have come up with the perfect overall basis to creating any game you want. You have your game token, you have your currency / scoring system, you have your properties, which are your tools of the trade, your vehicle cards, your whatever, that come with hotels or come with mana or whatever. You have all this added into the to the concept of what the card is, what the game board wants you to play when you land on a certain spot. And you need these triggers and these tropes in order to continue on with the game and make it exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of different styles of games that go down. Like, have you ever played Betrayal? House on Haunted Hill type game. I can't remember the full name of the game, but it's a tile laying game that as you explore different rooms, you lay down a different tile. And there's different things in those rooms that have different actions. And the tiles are randomly ordered, except for there's a base tile you start on, which is like the front of the house or something, or like the living room of the house. Then as you explore different rooms, you kind of connect them and you kind of build the house as you go. And it's interesting because you're exploring for like the weird different things, and you're finding weapons and curses and stuff. And curses are not good, but you're going until someone in your group, you don't know who, but someone in your group finds the item that turns them to the bad guy. And that happens, it triggers the game to where they have to hunt everybody throughout the house and try to win with a condition based on their card. Or based on the book, because there's like a book that comes with it that explains the different villain types. It's a very fun game.
Interesting.
Right? Then there's Abomination, which that game is ridiculously hard. It's a worker placement game, but you can go like one out of 15 different places, and you're trying to build a Frankenstein monster out of it, right? and a Frankenstein monster, you get dead meat. You try to revive it, put it together, and you got to keep it revised before it goes bad. And you got to keep it fresh before it goes bad. It's a difficult game. Sorry, cat was somewhere where they shouldn't belong, and I had to show him that I had the spray bottle. But yeah, I love a good board game. Like the villainous games are pretty fun. What the heck? Calm your butt.
tcgdude, extreme tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, Extreme Tic-Tac-Go. I've seen that game before. People play it.
So I'm ready to answer the question.
Okay, answer the
I have been in the background, and some people know this. And if you were watching the show about a month ago, I was working on a video game that I was calling Jesse Jump.
Just a doing, doing.
Jesse Jump, and it was.
I mean,
just
it takes a hard imagination here to work out what Jesse Jump's about.
and I sent pretty much it's my little head in a jar, Frogger style, or actually more Mario platformer style, running across the screen, and you got points for every time you were successfully able to jump my head in a jar over a Jesse.
So it's like Jesse Hellwheelers driving down or rolling down the road, and you're trying to dodge them like Frogger, and you're just a head in a jar trying to get to the other side.
Right.
Yeah, well, that seems legit.
Yeah, and so like kind of like had that kind of like Frogger / Mario jumping thing, the Mario look with the left to right instead of like Frogger, you're going from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen. And
I mean, I'm just trying to have a pleasant push, but no, there's this head that keeps launching himself at me.
So I made the little game while we were on stream one morning here on the Morning Coffee podcast, and then I sent it to Jesse and I said, "Look, here's the game I made."
Time capsule, what's up? Boo, boo, boo.
Time capsule.
Well, that's like he made the game. He made the game.
But you know, that's the answer to that question. I was trying to find the video that because that I had made, but I don't have it available right offhand.
That makes sense. It makes sense. You're trying it out.
It's on my Discord though, if you guys want to check it out.
All right, Hellwheeler.
I don't really have a game. I don't know what a game would be about me.
Well, like you don't have to go deep into what the game's supposed to be. You can just explain what a game you would be about. Like if you were a game, or if there was a game that you wanted. Like I described a game I was designing a long time ago. What's a game you liked or want to build around you, or what kind of game would it be that would in essence be like
I've
you?
always said that if I made a game, it would be something to do with cats and chairs, because the amount of times that I move from one chair to the other chair and the cat's there, it's like, well, now I need to go somewhere, or I move from my chair to the toilet. Now look, I'm stuck on the toilet because the cats have both nicked my chair again. Nobody wants to spend 5 minutes trying to shift the cats off your chair just to get off the toilet.
All right, so maybe your game, right? Game is you're a meeple. You roll dice, you move around the house, and you have to do different obstacles. And the different obstacles, they move you off the chair onto an item, like a chair, like a regular chair, not a wheelchair. Or maybe you're going to the table, and every time you go there, you draw a card, and it tells you how many cats appear there, right? And every time a cat appears, you have to deal with them. So you got to collect catnip, cat toys, and your most powerful weapon, which is a laser pointer. And you got to get the cats to move around. So you, as you're moving around these cats that keep spawning up, can distract them and create a clear path to the end of the game.
That does sound quite cool.
Mm-hmm. See? Tortoise has a game designer brain. A very novice game designer
Indeed,
brain.
he does.
All right. So, anyways, That's good. It's good. That's you might not think about this, but when I ask questions like these, like the other time I asked him what happens if you had it, what would happen, what would you do if you had $1 million you couldn't spend on yourself? These are actually personality based questions. They take you, they get you to question the way you would answer the question, and they express your personality and kind of give you a character build to everybody in the audience. So, what kind of person are you? People kind of know this stuff. This is the kind of stuff that gets them, or it's the kind of stuff that connects people to your character. I don't know if you noticed that, but there's sociology applied in this. With that, we're going to go into the next bumper.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.
Moves, the strategies, and the flair. Super fast tortoise is running the show. The crowd goes wild wherever he goes.
Whoa. So check it out. We are actually on the topic. We're late, so we're probably going to go a little bit overtime. Hope that's okay with everybody.
Yep.
Woo!
I don't have any place to be except for on the Morning Coffee Podcast.
That's right, the Morning Coffee Podcast. Let's talk about game design, the basics, the idea of it. Very novice. Though maybe bad design advice, very novice. It is fun to think about mechanics and delve into the themes in games design. From resource management, synergies, world building, game development, the process of how things work like a machine in a game, steps and phases, game rules, simple process of how each turn should look or act out, movement, money, uses, etc. Let's get into the conversation. So, everybody, the topic I hand is novice game advice ideas, because I've designed lots of games. Like, I can honestly tell you I've designed over 20 games. And a lot of the games I designed were simple, like super simple. All right. So when I say I designed 20 games, don't think I designed like 20 full-length board games. Most of the games I designed were money-saving challenges. Now, the average money-saving challenge you see out there will be like, here's a picture. Here's like 20 blocks, save $1 per block, color in each block you save. I don't like that idea. When you tell me you want a game that's a money-saving challenge, I'm going to make something that's reusable. I'm going to make something that has rule sets, and even if it's simple, something that plays out. Because to me, it's not really a game if you're just coloring in dots to fill up a piece of paper and save that much money. Now, saving money is not the problem. It's a replayability. Once you save all that money and you marked all the spots, you throw it away. Even if it's laminated and you mark it, then it's still the same. I like variety. I like variety in a game, right? Like most games I design, as simple as they may be, have a base set amount. Like if I'm trying to save $20, I make 20 dots, right? I make 20 dots, and the dot says save $1. But you roll a d6, and you save the amount, roll the d6. You know your lowest number is 1. So by the time you get to the $20th mark, you saved over $20. You know, that kind of stuff comes into mind. It's like I like to think of reusability, randomness, the ability to save more, because most people who do money saving challenges are trying to save a certain amount to get to a certain point. Now, no money saving is not easy all the time, right? And not all bills you're paying off. Like some people save money for bills are going to need that extra money. And so I've designed games where they took that extra money and pushed it different ways. And I know you can't just save extra money all the time when you're on a budget. But like I made a Monopoly game that you can play and quit whenever you want to. Cool. Right? It's just, and instead of buying stuff and all the stuff, you're saving money. Well, all the money you put in the game, you get a certain amount of money, you put it in the middle of the table. That's the bank. And all the money you save from the bank goes into your savings account. And the money that's left over can be used for another game. Or if you don't have any money left over, you just save everything you have in that certain account. Because games, when you do money saving challenges, each game usually is for a certain savings thing, like your sinking funds or your phone bill or your grocery bill, stuff like that. So that's the simplicity of it. To game design, how I walked you through an entire game of dinosaurs, step by step. And there's more to the game that was in there when I was trying to design it. There's more to it, but it once you play it out, it was very simple. And a simple rule set means a fair, funner game design, even though funner is not a word, but I made it a word.
I've been using that word since I was 6. It is absolutely a word in my Webster dictionary. I wrote it down. I made the definition. I'll give you my copy of Webster's that I wrote. I had to edit it.
Right? Yeah, I could see you scratched out fun and put funner. And it's like, and you're like, it's like fun, but funner. Anyways. But yeah. So when you're designing a game, you want to start with the basics of what is the purpose of the game. That's the first question asked. What's the purpose of the game? What's my main goal? Before you think about resources or anything, think about what the main goal of the game is, right? And you're like, well, maybe you're doing coconut collecting. You want to collect coconuts. You're like, okay, the main goal is to collect coconuts. Then you think about, how do I collect these coconuts? And that's when you come with meeples and dice rolling and stuff. That's when you start coming up with the mechanics of the game, right? So you're like, okay, is this a card game or a board game or a mix of both? A collecting game, you could have 3 coconut trees on a board, and you can select 1 coconut tree with a meeple out of 3 possible options. And each pile is random, and then the game can be up to 4 players, right? Yeah, that's what you're saying. The game can be up to 4 players. That means 3 people are going to get a coconut tree. 1 player has to go somewhere else. That's when you're thinking, well, if there's a 4th player element, what else am I getting? And that's when you start developing the broad idea of expanding the game. And that goes into resources. What if there's other ways to get coconuts, right? What if you can go to the trees, and the trees are just an easy way to get coconuts? But what if the 4th player has to go buy coconuts? And you're like, okay, buying coconuts is an easy way. Maybe you get more coconuts if you buy them because you're spending resources. And you're like, okay, if someone's buying them, how do I make that money? And you're like, okay, that's when you break down the money. It's crazy. Time capsule. Have a good night. Good day at work. Good afternoon.
See you, time capsule.
Yeah, so like the best way to get your brain thinking about game design is literally write down not only the steps, but everything you can about making a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Right? That sounds simple. You're like, wow, anybody can make a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It's 2 pieces of bread, jelly, and peanut butter.
Okay.
Well, have you ever tried saying, I walked into the kitchen, went to the cabinet on the far left, opened the cabinet, looked for the jelly, found the jelly, grabbed the jar of jelly, pulled it out of the cabinet, closed the door, the cabinet door. I took my other hand, my free hand, unscrewed the lid, and set both pieces on the counter. Right? Then you had to go get the peanut butter. Then, describe how that is, right? You describe every action to get the peanut butter and open the peanut butter. You describe every action to get the bread, the plate, everything you're going to use, the utensils, and describing everything from detail to detail on how you make that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now, the process of making the peanut butter jelly is not hard. For describing every piece of how that peanut butter jelly sandwich was made is like coding. And when you get into coding, you have to describe everything in coding. And board game is a little more simpler than coding. But it's the same thing, step by step, action by action.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. What flavored jelly? Peach flavored.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you gotta practice and prepare your mind for one game design. It's easy to come up with an idea for a game, but to put it in action is breaking it down. That's why playtesting is important.
Mm-hmm.
Resource management. Magic the Gathering is probably one of the best games for simple resource management. Lands, land ramp, land fetching, all that jazz, right? Simple, effective, but easy. Like Stone Age. Stone Age is a really good game where it's all about resource management. You're getting stone, wood, clay, all that jazz. And with the ability to build different things out of different materials and resources. Oops.
Ooh.
That sounded like a cat.
I'll be right back. I got to deal with the cat.
So the
Always a cat making an interruption of some form.
right?
Get over here, you.
Think we got to mute.
I think we know which one's the culprit.
Right. So with the different resource management and what you're going to go through resources, you got to find ways to use the resources. Right?
Mhm.
It's cane shaker. Somebody broke the jar of jelly. No. When you're doing resource management in board games, you have to have a good reason to have it. You don't always want just a resource just to be points, because if collecting points is points and you're only making a baseline game for a basic game. If you're building stuff like in Stone Age, like wood, clay and stuff, you're building huts, houses, and whatnot, and those point add modifiers to your game. That brings an interesting game mechanic. Now, if you ever want to play a basic Euro game that's fun to play, and Euro does stand for Europe, but it doesn't mean it's a Europe game. It just means the style of game that it's usually found in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
It's Stone Age.
Mm.
Yeah,
I thought you was going to say Risk.
No. Risk is a strategic game. It's kind of a board game, but the set of rules in Risk are very loose.
Yep.
Yeah, the set of rules in Risk are very loose, and it's still a good game. It's basic. It's still a fun game. I played Risk a couple months ago with my son.
Cool.
It's still a good game, but I'm talking about game mechanic development. You can't just create a game like Risk and call it a different name and expect it to fly off the shelves.
Right.
Because that's stealing.
Yep.
But like when you play different games, you learn different resources, different actions. Like if you it's like say in Hillbilly's game, where he's at a fair and he's collecting different junks. He's gathering cards for resources, and the resources let him get more junk or double up on his junk for points. He's junk collecting, right?
Yep.
And so the resource is getting these cards. So you got to, like my thing is you go buy a muffler, you get a card, and the muffler says, "Oh, this is a prized item." This is random. You didn't know he's getting the muffler.
You're right.
Muffler says you get a tire. Because you bought this, they gave you a tire. That's 2 pieces of junk. That's an extra point. There's different point systems for going different areas. Now, in Hillbilly's game, there's different places to go to gather junk, and each have a different theme. You got a car junk theme. You got like electronics, like old toys and stuff theme. You got food waste, which you probably don't want to go to, but it's there. And you got different things you go to collect different items, like a little trinket stand that sells trinkets. Different management to get different things, different point values. Different items, like certain items and different point values bring big point values, where the average like trinket item is worth less point values. Like you go to a trinket place, your chances of getting a low point item is very easy, but but you have a chance of getting a high ticket item, a high point value that's higher than cars. But cars have an average rate of a higher point value on the regular, but the biggest value item is not in the car item, and that's just an example, like how you kind of balance a game out where someone can just like trick the system, get all these little points, and people can cycle through different little points, but they know if they want the biggest points to go to the different pile.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it's about who has the most points.
It's kind of like what I was saying earlier. You have to have some way of determining the final result, the winner, the conclusion of your game.
Oh yeah, the conclusion of the game. Like there are certain items, like in games, or certain triggers in the games that create an end-based game action. Like in Ticket to Ride, the person who gets rid of their chains first triggers the end of the game. Or there's this other game, when someone fills up a certain area of this board game, it triggers the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, in my game, there'd be an area where they could drop off. They had to carry their junk around the whole board one turn, and then once they get back to their part of their area, they can unload their junk there.
Right.
And to end the game, whoever collects the most junk wins. And in order to get your junk, you got to get those cards.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it could work that way for sure.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
For the big items, you'd have to get those cards, which is worth more points.
Right. More points indubitably.
Yep.
So like I wish I knew the book. Let's see. My son has the books. I don't know the author. Right.
Baby.
Anyways, there's a book I have. I can't. It's lost in my son's room somewhere. It was about game theory. Now I can tell you, I don't know everything about game theory because there's a lot of math that goes into game theory, and Torres sucks at math, but he's not bad at probability. Even though probability deals with math, but like there's different probabilities. There's different ways to look at math. There's, let's just say, intricate ways to get into math. But there are certain things in a game, like favorite mechanic in a game is always based off the prisoner's dilemma, prisoner's gambit, whatever they call it, where you stick two people in two different rooms and you question them the same question with the same alternatives. KJ,
Yeah.
you're in a room.
With the different alternatives, I assume.
Right. Well, check this out. Hillbilly is in the room behind you.
Uh-oh.
You can't
I
hear
am?
you guys can't hear each other. But you're
Well, that
both
would explain why I haven't noticed he's in the room behind me.
right. But you're both being investigated for a crime you both committed.
Hey! Now you're making me commit a crime. I hope it's
What?
not too bad.
Hey, I'm not done.
He's
right?
not done yet.
No. You're both being questioned about the crime because they don't have solid evidence against you to target on the crime. They caught you in the area of the crime, but they're going to question you.
It's all right, KJ. I'm not going to spill the beans. Don't worry. I'm going to stay silent.
Look. You're both being questioned. And here's the parameters. You, Hellwheeler, can blame everything on KJ and walk away scot-free. Or you can admit fault that you and KJ do it and you guys get a lighter sentence. Or you can just take the blame and KJ can walk free.
What's KJ's choices?
Same choices.
No, but you see, if I take the blame and then KJ also takes the blame, surely they would counteract each other, and therefore they can't can't charge either of us because it's conflicting blames.
No, I see. Here's what I've already done. I've already solved this. I've already won the game. Don't trust the Brit.
Hey, don't trust the Brit. Come on. We are honest, good fellows. You know, think not to trust us. I think it's those Americans over there that are the ones you need to worry about.
All right. First of all, we got rid of your tea 200 years ago because it was tea, not coffee.
No, see, we're sensible enough. We have tea and coffee for those weirdos that don't want tea.
See?
I mean, I'm happy with both.
Arrest this woman.
There is the right time for both. There is
So
the right
anyway.
time for both drinks.
So, anyways, the point of the game is you're both trying to get the upper hand, and you're trying to get out. The opportunity is there, is you both get to and basically walk free, but you both can admit it and both get a lighter sentence, or you can blame the other person. Now, the interactions are different because if you both pin the blame on each other, like if Hellwheeler was to blame KJ and KJ was to blame Hellwheeler, that's both admitting that you both did the crime.
Mhm.
Right? Or if KJ took the blame and Hellwheeler blamed KJ, that goes all on KJ. Vice versa on Hellwheeler. Or if they both took the blame to save each other, they both get incarcerated because they're both admitting to the crime. The point of the thing is you're giving people options to make different options. In a board game, you're doing the same kind of thing. You're like there's not about to say worker placement again, but not worker placement, but there's a lot of games that are versus each other, and that's the same kind of dilemma that you face. But there's games that you help each other, but you need there's cooperative games that you help each other, but there's certain decisions you have to make that will hinder some other player down the road. And you have to make the decision to get the advancement on yourself because the points still go against you. Unless you're playing one of those games where it's just completely cooperative and everybody gets the points all together. And Backwoods says he's blaming everybody.
Can I just appreciate Kane Shaker here, who understands that us Brits, we wouldn't be blaming them. He knows very much. KJ's the one singing like a canary and blaming everyone.
That's right.
That head in a jar does not want to go to prison. He knows what's in store for him there.
I'm already in a prison. I'm in a jar. I can't get out. You know,
Well,
on top of
then
that,
what's being
it's called
wrong with being in prison?
it's called the
You're
American
still-
way. Save your own ass.
Right. Well, so
Every man for himself. And well, you're a cat.
So I
girl.
guess your decisions would be based off your objective, right? Because I didn't tell you there was a big buttload of money involved, right? And that's your point system, like a big buttload of money. But I didn't tell you who knows where the money is. Maybe Hellwheeler knows where the money is, and KJ doesn't.
Yeah, but you're still getting out of jail free. Even if you don't get out, if you don't avoid jail with the money, you're still avoiding jail. So
Right?
you then have the chance to get more money elsewhere.
Right. But what if you both knew where the money was, right? What if there was like $1 million and KJ didn't want Hellwheeler to have any of that $1 million? What if Hellwheeler was willing to split the money, but KJ wasn't? So your alternative motive in the game will change the decisions of that aspect.
Okay.
You know, so in the game, in a game design, you have to create motive to why people are playing the game and why people want to play the game. You know, and the game, by the way, you lost the game. The game is based off the motive and points winning, cooperative or not.
Okay.
You know, like the thing in Magic, like the Magic, oh, they did it.
Hey, hey, that's not very procrastinating. Making an entire banner saying I did it. And see, Kane Shaker, he's singing like a canary to the whole world.
But still, you know, there's a simple aspect of games is the competitive edge. Magic the Gathering is all about the competitive edge, especially the more competitive formats you're in. Like you can help, like in a 4-player commander game, you can help people out, but in the game there can only be one winner, and then you want that winner to be you. You wants to win all the time.
Uh-huh.
All right, I like to win all the time as much as possible, but like I don't mind helping Hillbilly out sometimes. Sometimes I don't mind kicking him down on his knees.
You done that quite a lot.
Look! It ain't my fault. You swung at someone for 18 points, got your creature taken care of. Then you got swung at for 18 points yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That was karma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. This is the top deck, but anyways, no, there's games where like someone like they're like in Magic the Gathering, there'll be a game like one person is being oppressive on the board, and all the other 3 players have to go against that one player to take care of that player so they can have the rest of their game. So they know for a fact that this player who's been oppressive cannot be the number 1 guy on the board. So people will work together to knock down the threat, right? But once the threat's resolved, everybody's at equal basis is the threat now. Now they have to go against each other until one person becomes a big threat, then 2 people possibly go against that person until it's 1v1.
Yep.
So when you're thinking about board games, collaborative or not, you got to think about how the interactions are going to be. You want to think about the collaborations between players. Like in some games, the best part of some games is the trading aspect. There's games I played that are like item-based games, and if you're in the same area as a player or meeple on the board, like I'm trying to look over, but I can't think of the name. Horrified. Yeah, if you're in the game Horrified, if you're in the same spot as someone, you can trade game pieces, which is really important because certain players of the game can only do certain actions other players can't to destroy a monster or capture a monster, and that's an interesting aspect. And so you imply that to your idea. Like I said, this is novice advice. I'm no professional. I've designed a lot of cheap games. Our Century Spice Road is a good one. So Century Spice Road is all about set collecting and card collecting. You're set collecting different spices so you can get cards. The cards that give you more spices give you more points.
Yep.
If you want some good advice on being a really good game designer, play lots of board games.
Right.
Try different board games. Learn different board games. Because there's games I can't handle that are very Euro, and it sounds weird saying Euro like I'm talking bad against Hellwheeler, but I'm not. A Euro game is just a very complicated version of a game. That name is stemmed because Europe likes making complicated board games.
Maybe they're just testing everyone's brains. I don't know. I ignore the ones that are complicated and I just go for the ones that I can cope with.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think I play Exploding Kittens? Nice simplicity to it.
But
I'm
yet we
surprised-
sit there and we
I'm-
play Borderlands and we go for the hardest missions first.
Right.
Well,
I'm surprised you do play Exploding Kittens. I'd say you loved kittens enough not to want them to explode.
Exactly. I don't
Well,
want them to explode. I'm going to nick everyone's defuse so that I'm stacked with them so my poor kitten will not explode.
Where were you the last time we played? It seemed to be me getting all the defuses last time we played. Just saying.
Yeah, you were being quite cruel.
That's funny. So
well, the easiest game is also the hardest game.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes.
Tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-toe. Tic-tac-toe. Let's put it this way. Games like tic-tac-toe are already solved before they're won. Games like tic-tac-toe and other games like it are based on the person who goes first.
Mm-hmm.
Like any, mini, miny, mo. No matter what happens, that game's already solved. When you go any, mini, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe, whatever. Like if you do the math and you count the options that you're selecting from, the person that's going to end on is already selected before you started. It's not random.
Okay, yeah. There's a lot of games that I feel that way about, like Monopoly. I firmly believe that the person who rolls first and gets to get off that start line first is already won, because you have the higher odds if you're the first one off the start mark to get the higher property values.
Well, it's not even about getting the higher property values. It's really just about being the first one to buy properties.
Yeah, the first to do anything is the person who's probably going to win. So if you're going to be the first off the roll, like say you're the my household, you roll sixes and you get to go first. You know, that's how we always play with our home rules with Monopoly. So like okay, so that person who goes first, you're obviously going to have a higher odds of winning. Now, this is one problem with the turn-by-turn basis game. And a lot of people, when it has that turn-by-turn basis games, do prefer to be the first person off the board.
Oh, yeah. People who are smart about Monopoly know how to play a game. Like, I don't mean to brag, but in my house, I've become one of the two people who win at Monopoly.
Me and my friend became very smart at Monopoly. We were playing with her sister and we just happened to need our drinks refilled. So we paid her to go downstairs and refill our drinks. It's very generous of us out of our own pocket. I mean, we may have rinsed the bank every time that she went downstairs and wasn't noticing. But how come you're paying me 100 and yet gaining 500 every time?
That's funny. You ransacking the bank. Cheat. But anyways, well, there are actually some games out there. I can't remember the name of the game, but they're actually based on cheating, like cheating in the game.
Yeah,
you know?
There's one game that's a game that I saw recently at the Walmart in their little board game section, and it was called Lie to Me. You know, also Jackbox Games has a couple of games that's whole purpose is lying, like Fibbage XL. You know, you lie about what the answer is going to be. Then there are a couple of game shows that I remember from television from the 80s that were like somebody's going to tell you some keywords, and some of those keywords are going to fake.
Right.
In order to not have you guess what the answer is. So I'm going to be telling you fake keywords. You're going to still try to guess what the answer is, while the other person's telling you a keyword that's the actual keyword. Now you have to decide who's lying about the keyword and who's actually telling the truth. Now there's a whole lot of games like that. And I really like the concept of improving your mental skills. Particularly, and I know a lot of people say you shouldn't really advertise a game that encourages people to lie to each other. But at the same time, if you can get your brain to working in a creative way, whether it be whatever. I mean, we watch lies all the time. We watch television. Television actors are the biggest liars of them all. They're paid to do that. You know, they're paid to make you believe that this world exists. The game developer is making you a world. The developers at Magic the Gathering have given you a world, a storyline, a reality that you are living in while you're flipping those cards.
That's right.
And there is only so much suspension of disbelief that you can go through with any kind of media, whether it be gaming or movies or whatever that you're going to go through to suspend the belief of this is not going on, or this is going on, and this is just a game. You're going into it with the whole lore in mind. You're absorbing the game, you're absorbing the lore, you're absorbing the experience, and this is all put together by the game developer themselves. And in order to curate the experience for you to get into a community eventually, like what the Magic the Gathering community has, the Dungeons and Dragons community, even the Final Fantasy community over there playing Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft even. They've taken the time to put you in this world. They've not only developed the game, the cards, the tokens, the scoring, they've developed the world the game sits in.
Yep.
I think I just went off topic, but sorry.
Hold on a second.
But yes, I do believe that like that extra work that they're putting into for the games, as it grows, you're gonna have like a new concept every day. When Tortoise makes his next game tomorrow, pulls out the graph paper and says, "Look, I just put together a board game." And, like we used to back when we were in school back in the day, we used to pull out our graph paper and make a little RPG game and toss dice around until the teachers thought we were gambling or something, and we were playing little homemade RPGs all the time.
I remember doing that. That's what got me into game design. Like playing battle to teach me like battle. It was like war, where you get a and you fold it in half, and you draw little tanks on one side, and every time you play, you covered the paper, and it'd be like it'd be kind of like what you call it, battleship, but you just scratch out a piece of paper to see if you marked the spot the ship that got hit, because you can't see it, because like it was fun. It's crazy. Like, or we design little board games where there's little iconology on the board that if you like landed on a weapon, you got a weapon or a weapon card or a bonus, or you got landed on monsters, you had to fight monsters, you had to roll dice equal to like the monsters and stuff like that. Yeah, it's fun what you can do. Like, some people think the stupidest little games are stupid, but when you realize the thought process goes into stupid little games, sometimes it's fun.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
and it teaches you valuable lessons.
Well, like I said, and there is, when it comes down to it, and you got down to all down, you got the game built, you got everything else, and then they're adding the lore, the storylines, and the world of the game. Like, imagine Magic the Gathering without the commander characters.
Right.
And they're just cards that just say the thing on it. That doesn't have a picture of the character. You don't have like some sort of physical representation of what the card is about. It wouldn't be as fun of a game. It'd be the same exact game. The mechanics are the same, but without that character, the storyline behind the character, the reason why you want that character to be your commander in your deck, there's a lot going on that the game developers have pulled aside. Like I said earlier, and when I was off topic before, I'm not off topic now for this by bringing up lore and bringing up all this, because that is giving you an extra hook into the game. You are now a fish with two hooks in your mouth.
Yeah, but anyways, I wouldn't probably be a collector of Magic without characters and art. That's right.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you need it. You need the characters, and you need that because I mean, look at Monopoly. Even has a lore. I mean, there is lore to Monopoly.
Well, to be honest with you, before you have characters, you have the game in development. Characters come after for flavor reasons, and characters come in for elements of connecting people to the game. Character development doesn't hit.
Right, but the character development and all that, it's the hook into the game, though.
Oh yeah,
because a lot, like I said, if and Backwoods obviously agrees with me on the statement, is without the characters being there and having that extra lore, the character, the physical representation, the on top of the game mechanic itself, it would seem, even though it'd be exactly the same game, it would seem differently to you. You got to have that hook. You got to have that reason to want to play.
Right. Well, that's right. Actually, right now it's kind of neither here or there, because that's after game design concept. But it is important. You're right, because that's more into the sales advertisement and the past game design. More into develop world building, and world building sometimes in certain games come with the game design. Sometimes it comes after,
right?
Because sometimes it's the bare bones of the game that build the character up. Like my dinosaur game, we didn't have characters in the game when I was developing the game, until the game was designed. And I'm like, well, how do we make ulterior win conditions? Well, you add characters that say if you collect this kind of dinosaur or this kind of thing, you get extra bonus points for this kind of thing. And that's when characters started developing in the game itself. Yeah. So it's pretty clear, like it's on base. It's kind of fun because character development is one of the funnest part of the game, but sometimes it's the easiest part of the game. But but it's best to get the game all developed and kind of makeshift made like 90% of the way before you start working on characters of the game. You know, that's one of the things that's hard about creating a card game is trying to design cards without characters to them. Because you want to design cards without characters with them first to see how they work. Then you add a character to it to give it storyline length. But it's also sometimes backwards where you want a story that you can build card games around when you do card games. So it's very interesting. Sorry, I just went on a rant there. But anyways, my friends. Anyways, we're going to hit this button right here.
Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take. So it's lit. MTG3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise, building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon, no one can bring us down. MTG3 in the house, we own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
Whoa, everybody. We're crazy. We're nuts. We're coconuts. On a different note, it's a rest in peace, Gene Hackman, my favorite Lex Luthor. Yeah, rest in peace, dude.
Yeah.
The whole story was I've been trying to avoid that story a little because it's very sad and a lot of theory around that story.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't want to get into that. Like, I mean, rest in peace because he was a good actor and whatnot.
Well, that and also Lex Luthor, the ultimate villain ever, the only villain who could, other than Darkseid, who can best Superman, and he had no powers whatsoever. And the best version of Lex Luthor was the Gene Hackman Lex Luthor.
Yep.
So far, I can't wait to see the new Lex Luthor.
They're basing it off of the Smallville style.
Okay. Doesn't mean I don't want to see it.
No. I'm not saying it's negative. I'm just saying they're basing it off the Smallville style.
I enjoyed Smallville's Lex Luthor. Like,
They
Smallville,
also-
I grew up on. It was a good series.
Yeah, it was a great series. I'm not saying anything negative about it. I'm just saying they're basing him off of the Smallville style Lex Luthor, which they also did with the previous Superman movies as well. They were basing it off of that, you know, which I like it. I look forward to it. I'm not saying anything negative about it. I just
and they got a Marvel character to play him because they got the guy who played Beast in the X-Men movies.
Oh, are they getting Kelsey Grammer?
Not Kelsey Grammer. The guy who played Beast in the X-Men ones with the Days of Future Past series.
Oh, yes, the alternate universe crossover series after. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the one that's supposed to be like the history of X-Men.
Alternate universe prequel series, yeah.
That thing. Yes, they got the character who played Beast in that film to play Lex Luthor, and he's a good actor. So
I'm not too familiar with his work other than X-Men.
Have you seen X-Men Days of Future Past? That movie.
Oh, I've seen all the X-Men movies. I'm just saying, other than X-Men, I'm not familiar with his work.
Yeah, X-Men Day of Future Past is a pretty bomb movie. I was highly disappointed when they ruined the movie after it, when they were bringing in what's his name, the blue guy, I can't remember his name, Apocalypse. Yeah, when they messed up Apocalypse and made that character and that story bad.
Well, I see where they were trying to go with it. See, Apocalypse in the comic books is part Kree.
Right.
And the Kree created the Inhumans. and Apocalypse was the first mutant that was inhuman human hybrid, and his made him super OP, being that he was being an inhuman. He had Kree DNA, and that makes him the first official mutant, because once he started spreading his abilities about, it created the mutant race.
Right.
2000 plus years ago, if you believe that. But that's also an alternate storyline. It's not part of the official 616 until they rebooted the 616 and brought Apocalypse back.
Well, they totally tried ignoring the fact that that was a storyline, and they just like, here's Apocalypse. He's the original mutant. Here's some what he did, and here's a bad story with bad acting. Well, the acting was bad because the dialogue was bad,
Right?
And so they just ruined the movie.
But they didn't have access to the characters.
Well,
They legally didn't have access to the characters. Fox, because Apocalypse being part Kree, those characters were currently, because of that was the beginning of the Marvel movie series 616 that were trying to create a single universe. And they didn't have access to those characters, so they couldn't use that version of Apocalypse. They had to nerf him. They had to change him. They had to change his power set. They also didn't have access to the Inhumans, which was being done by one of the TV channel networks. I think it was Fox, but who had access to Fox movies, had access to certain characters, but Fox movies did not have access to the Inhumans. So they couldn't add that to the storyline, where the Inhumans, the mutants, and the Kree all roll into one storyline. Couldn't do that in the X-Men movies because they didn't own the rights for movie production on those characters. That's the whole reason why that we're having a hard time getting a cinematic universe legitimately built. The cinematic universe that you're given right now is based off of what characters that they're allowed to use.
But like I said, or I was about to say, or trying to say, it's not about what you don't have. It's about what you have and what you can do with it. They could have made a better story. They just didn't.
All right.
Yeah. Like I understand not having the Kree and 616 stuff, but they could have definitely gone a different route, the different story. And in fact, I think that movie could have, like, they got a good actor for Apocalypse. I'm not going to say they didn't. No, but they could have done better with the scripting, the storytelling, and instead of watering it down and making it dumb, they could have actually made it provocative if we're thinking, you know. And look, Days of Future Past was an excellent film.
It was,
you know. So what changed the motive there? That was like the highlight. You know, they could have done better. They had the funding, the approval. They could have done better, but what did they do? I don't know. But anyways, we need to get to the show section because Tortoise needs to get off of here and go to the restroom and stuff.
Hold it. Hold it. Cross your legs. We're doing another hour.
Let's go.
Anyways, we're going to start with Hellwheeler.
Hey, it's Thursday. So tonight we are continuing on with my first ever playthrough of Mass Effect 2. I'm not sure where we left off last time because I had a slight pause for a bit of pirating last week when that launched. But yeah, we'll be jumping back in and seeing where Shepard's journey goes. And then tomorrow we have local TCG Question Chaos. And we're having a bit more of a sort of a chatty chill episode tomorrow. We're just discussing our thoughts on the game, where we think it's going, what we think might be coming with League and things. Just a little more of a general discussion of local TCG rather than, staring at any in particular cards. So, come hang out, ask any questions. We may be able to answer them. We don't know. Not until we know what the question is anyway. Come join the fun.
Join the fun. Come join the fun. That's right. Everybody join the fun. To KJ and
Hey, howdy, hey, boys and girls. I'm not sure if you know this, but I do have that black belt in procrastination. I'm about ready to hit double black belt in procrastination, so you don't want to procrastinate against me. And see what I'm doing right here? I'm procrastinating about telling about Wednesday's show because we don't know what Wednesday's show is going to be about, but we do know that Monday will be Minecraft Monday, where Jesse and I and Kaz and a few other people, maybe Decaying Hydra and a few other of our friends, may be joining us for Minecraft Mondays, where we're going to be placing blocks, stepping on pressure plates, and throwing eggs into Jesse's home.
woo woo. You're going to be egging Hellwheeler's house.
Well, chickening, but yes.
You know how expensive eggs are right now?
Oh, don't go to Florida and buy eggs. If you don't want to spend $22 for a dozen eggs, don't go to Florida.
Come to the UK. They're not nearly as expensive. They're an actual sensible price over here.
Wow.
I mean, you might as well throw golden nuggets at our house.
Really?
I'll sign up for that. Not throwing the nuggets, but being the guy who's getting the golden nuggets thrown at him. You can use my jar as a take a penny, leave a golden nugget.
Right. All right. Oh, hold on. All right.
Hey, everybody. News about my channel. The channel's growing real quick and just blew off. And that's awesome. That's great. But anyway, I will be streaming again this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Going to try to climb that mythic ladder for the last time because it's getting ready to reset. And if we don't get it, we don't get mythic. We're going to try. That's all I got planned for today. Now, tomorrow, there will be a commander game tomorrow. More on that tomorrow.
You're going to do a commander game on
Right.
Friday?
No. I thought today was Friday. No, that's Saturday.
If you were listening to my show, I do try and help everyone out by saying the day. If not, just remind myself what the day is.
I thought today was Friday.
And just to be sure, I'll double check. Yes, the calendar on my phone is indeed saying Thursday. So yes, we're a Thursday.
I thought today was Friday. I'm missing a day. Oops.
So there is going to be a game tonight and tomorrow on Superfast Tortoise's channel. We're going to play some Commander. We're going to try to get a game off tonight. I need to select the Commander I'm going to get so I can make a thumbnail for it so I can set it up. But we'll get there when we get there. But if you like the morning show and the way we do things and have fun, and you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I know about 25% of you are not subscribed to watch my show. Hit that subscribe button. It's free. It helps out the channel. And hey, we have good vibes all the time. So check it out. Check it out. Have a good day with that. I want to remind you all that you guys are awesome, amazing, and thank you guys for being here. Hillbilly, KJ, Hellwheeler, and everybody in chat like James, Kenny Tricker, and Backwoods, and everybody who showed up like Time Capsule and tcgdude and Kovacs. Everybody showed up. You guys rock. You guys rule. Remember, you are loved. Someone's thinking about you. And if you can, brighten someone's day because you might be the change they need for the day. Let's go. I totally want to thank you for watching today's video. I really appreciate it 100%. Like this video as if it's your favorite kind of pizza, dude. And if you wouldn't mind, consider smashing that subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. Every one of these things you do helps the channel out a lot.
The moves, the strategies, and the flair. Superfast Tortoise is running the show. The crowd goes wild wherever he goes. Shall some go the tortoise way. He's the one to watch, the king of MTG play.